appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello everyone and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan declares the days of Boko Haram in the country are coming to an end. Also in this program, the All Progressives Congress resolves to challenge the impeachment of Murtala Nyako as a Adamawa State Governor in court. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Osun Segun Agbaje says the state will be militarized during the forthcoming governorship election. And outside Nigeria, European Union leaders haggle over who will head the high-profile foreign affairs arm in the face of deepening crisis in Ukraine and the Middle East.
Tonight in business news, Nigerian investors reaped over 400 million naira increase in equity fund assets.
And sports tonight. Federal government's top monthly allocation of Nigerian Football Federation.
The news in full. President Goodluck Jonathan has declared that the days of Boko Haram insurgency in the country are coming to an end. He made this known while inaugurating a 15-man support fund committee headed by former Defense Minister, retired General Theophilus Danjuma. The report.
After many unsure steps, the Nigerian authorities appear to be bracing up to confront insurgents headlong. The government is also now prepared to ensure that victims of insurgent activities get some succor. And mindful of recent successful counter-insurgent operations, President Jonathan is emphatic that those who delight in killing and maiming innocent people must be brought to justice.
For those who take pleasure in seeing innocent human beings in pains, to see limbs being shattered and blood flowing in all directions after terror attacks, we say, you shall have no hiding place. Nigerians will expose you. The people of conscience around the world have rejected you. We appreciate the support we are getting from foreign countries and the cooperation we are getting from our neighbors. This has given us more feeling, and we are confident that the days of Boko Haram are numbered. It is now just a matter of time.
He recalled how insurgents had embarked on mass killings and insisted that no effort will be spared in checking the insurgency. Former Defense Minister did not hold back in his assessment of Boko Haram. He argued that the group has launched a war on Nigeria and had to be stopped.
This war must be brought to an end. We must win this war immediately. It's taken too long. I called it a civil war when it began. People say it's insurgency. The insurgents appear to be having an upper hand at this very moment. They pick and choose where to strike. They are now even holding positions and displacing us. We must win this war.
Danjuma assured the president of a good job, but also jokingly declared a no-go area for his commitment.
One thing we will not do, Mr. President, is to go to Zambezi forest. The commander-in-chief will lead. We will follow the commander-in-chief.
For his part, the National Security Advisor, Sambo Dansuki, assured Nigerians that the war against terrorism will be won.
We will win the war. We know how difficult it is, but there are some very hard choices that have to be made. We've so far been more concerned about the lives of a few versus the condition of a few millions. We do realize that the time has come to draw a line. And as you've said, if they are taking territory, then we've crossed the threshold as far as I'm concerned.
The 15-member committee is expected to mobilize funds and ensure appropriate support for victims of insurgency and Boko Haram attacks across the country.
Meanwhile, President Goodluck Jonathan wants the National Assembly to approve a $1 billion foreign loan to enable security forces tackle Boko Haram insurgency. The president explains in a letter to the two legislative chambers that the money will be used to upgrade military equipment. In the letter dated July 15, President Jonathan says part of the fund would be devoted to training and logistics for security forces. The Bring Back Our Girls movement has denied any role in the decision of parents of the abducted Chibok girls to call off their scheduled meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan. The leadership of the group says in a statement made available to CoreTV News that they were surprised that government officials accused the movement of sabotaging the meeting. They explained that even though the Chibok community involved them of the invitation, the group insisted that only the invited parents have the right to decide on the matter. The protest movement added that the Chibok community later informed its leaders of its intention to ask for an expanded meeting involving all the grieving parents with the president at a later date. Adamawa State Acting Governor Amadou Marufin-Tiri has announced the dissolution of all political appointments following the impeachment of Murtala Nyako and resignation of the former Deputy Governor Balangilari. A Government House statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Liman Tukor, directed the affected political appointees to hand over all government properties in their custody to the permanent secretaries and other appropriate officers within government establishment. The statement further directed all permanent secretaries to take full charge of all government assets in their ministries. Nigeria's largest opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, has resolved to challenge the impeachment of Adamawa State Governor Murtala Nyako in court. The party also raised the alarm that having removed Nyako, the federal government is working on impeaching 4 other APC governors. Party chairman John Odige Oyegun reveals at the news conference in Abuja that Nyako's impeachment was done without regards for constitutional provisions. The report.
It's only a few days after the impeachment of the Adamawa State governor, but his colleagues in the APC are not ready to let the state slip away without a fight. They have resolved to take up the gauntlet and fight what they say is an injustice. Party chairman John Odige Oyegun is clear on APC's position.
What was Nyako impeached for? Offenses he allegedly committed not yesterday, but 5 years ago, not since he became a member of the APC. These offenses were not impeachable, supposedly, when he was in the PDP. But the moment he became a member of the APC, they became impeachable. The entire impeachment of Governor Nyako is so fraught with illegalities, irregularities, bias, judicial contradictions, and violations of the most basic procedural and constitutional provisions, that it is the worst manifestation. It has become the worst manifestation of impunity. We, of course, intend to mount an immediate and vigorous challenge to this gross injustice to the party and the people of Adamawa State.
The party chairman also touched upon the impending impeachment of the Nasarawa State governor. He wondered what Tanko Almakura did that President Jonathan has not done.
What is Governor Al-Makura of Nasarawa State being threatened with impeachment? Allegations of extraordinary expenditures. The same offense that President Jonathan has committed many times over.
Some party leaders also added their voices to what they say is an assault on the opposition.
There's no president from the time of Obasanjo to date, including president or any governor. If you want to talk about extrapolation titles, there will not be a president. We have 5 months to election now. This, I think, for the interest of this country. Those who are telling the president that is the way forward, let everyone go and test their popularity.
For now, APC is bent on challenging Nyako's impeachment in court, even though some of its federal lawmakers are issuing a subtle threat over alleged gross misconduct by the president.
Meanwhile, the impeachment of Murtala Nyako as governor of Adamawa has heightened the political tempo in the state. While some feel the impeachment will affect the popularity of the APC, the leadership of the party in the state thinks otherwise. Our correspondent reports that the party is optimistic of regaining control of the state in the nearest future.
Adamawa witnessed a history-making event Tuesday when the members of the State House of Assembly voted to impeach Murtala Nyako as governor. The action of the lawmakers was based on the report submitted to the Assembly from a 7-man panel set to investigate allegations of gross misconduct against the former governor and his deputy, Bala Ngalari. Nyako was finally impeached after 2/3 majority of the House signed against him. The ousted governor is a member of the All Progressives Congress. The party, however, reacts to the development.
We are not demoralized with the impeachment. We know it's a constitutional issue, but all we know is that the constitution was put aside and interest came to bear, and they took decision that will just favor them.
They accuse the People's Democratic Party of influencing the process.
It is a PDP plan to at least have a grip of the treasury of the state so that they can loot enough and maybe transfer it for the presidential election or for the coming governorship election.
A member of the party who is saddened by the development believes they have what it takes to win the state again.
I wouldn't be happy if a sitting governor of my party is removed. There's no doubt about it. I will not be happy. But in Adamawa, as I speak, we cannot lose sleep because we have the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who is presently on ground, and he is a leader not only in the state, he's a leader nationally, and we will work stronger and stronger as far as this party is concerned.
For his part, a Yola-based public affairs analyst says the impeachment was delayed.
APC didn't come on a solid foundation. You have to lay a solid foundation. Why is PDP still in control in this country? It took how many years for PDP to lay a solid foundation? Today, the moment there is crisis in PDP, they go back to call the founding fathers. And these same founding fathers come back to manage the situation.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly has since assumed office as the acting governor, and elections will be held in 3 months' time.
As more reactions trail the impeachment of Nyako as Adamawa State Governor, Lagos State Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Joe Ibokwe, vows the party is ready to go to court to reclaim his mandate. He added that the Jonathan-led government has taken to impeach APC governors in order to make 2015 elections favorable for him. However, Lagos PDP women leader Shola Oladeibo throws her weight behind the impeachment. Amatayo Alo completes the story.
The impeachment of Murtala Nyako has continued to generate reactions from several quarters. The Lagos APC spokesman, Joe Ibokwe, at a meeting with journalists, elected to speak as an activist who was part of the struggles for Nigeria's democracy. He describes the impeachment of Nyako as a declaration of total war on the opposition and democracy.
They first went to court to stop the governors, but they did not succeed. They failed. Now they have resorted to using stolen money to buy lawmakers in various state assemblies to impeach selected APC governors. Using heavy, weighty and instrumentality of the federal government, the presidency and PDP have decided to decimate and desecrate the opposition by crude and rough practices.
The reverse is the case for the women leader of the PDP in the state, Shola Oladeibo, who says Iyaka's impeachment followed due process. She affirms that justice was duly considered in the case.
If a governor refuses to work with the members of the House of Assembly and is not doing the right thing, he should be shown the way out. Jonathan is in Abuja, and he won't come from Abuja to come and influence what will happen in the state. So he should do the right thing at the right time and make sure that the people in the states get democracy, the dividend of democracy. If they don't get it from him, they should show him the way out, and which is what they've done for Yako.
Ibokwe is however spoiling for a showdown if President Goodluck Jonathan emerges winner at the 2015 presidential election.
It's only a matter of time. Let me tell you, there are men in this country that want to say, that are saying that enough is enough in this country, and it will come in the fullness of time. If you believe in revolution, it will come, because this nation cannot continue like this.
Nigerians are waiting to see the outcome of the elections and the reactions that will follow suit. Omota Yoalo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, divergent views are being expressed on the impeachment of Iyako across the country. Correspondent Rashid files in this report from Osun State. I'm afraid we'll bring you details of that report subsequently. The resident electoral commissioner in Osun State, Segun Agbaje, says the state will not be less militarized during the forthcoming governorship election, as it was the case during last June 21 poll in Ekiti State. Agbaje reveals this in Abuja at an event with the theme Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. The event was organized by Policy and Legal Advocacy Center for Civil Society Organizations to assess the level of preparedness of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Residents and observers of the June 21 governorship election in Ekiti had witnessed heavy presence of military men and other security agencies across the state during the poll won by Ayodele Fayose. Agbaje says such heavy deployment of security men might be needed in Osun State due to the heightening security situation allegedly being caused by inflammatory utterances of politicians. He laments that politicians in the state are seeing the election as a do-or-die affair. Agbaje, who assured that INEC would deliver an election fairer and freer than that of Ekiti, says a total of 1,407,222 voters have been registered already in the state. He added that about 63%, translating to 792,200 of the registered voters has of last Friday collected their permanent voter cards. The final phase of distribution of the permanent voter cards, according to him, has been slated for July 26 and 27. Osun government boosts health services with new equipment. Find out the details of these and other stories shortly after this timeout. Don't go away.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to tonight, the city of Lagos went to dark as all routes.
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV,
our 24-hour news station.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. Divergent views are being expressed on the impeachment of Iyanko across the country. Our correspondent Rashid's report is now ready from Osun State.
It started like a joke as Nigerians keenly watch political developments in Adamawa State. Though the die is already cast, legal practitioner Abimbola Ige says there is constitutional lacuna in the impeachment process.
The governor is said to have committed certain offences that warranted him to be impeached. There are some laid down rules constitutionally that ought to be followed. And if by any stretch of imagination such are not observed, then we cannot say due process have been followed. And to that extent, that impeachment cannot.
This Osun resident, Adetomiwa Zubair, is convinced that the impeachment was characterized by political machinations of the powers that be.
What is happening in Nigeria is worrisome. I do not believe the legislators are acting on their own. If you notice, the offenses they claimed he committed were committed before the time he changed party. Where were they then? Why couldn't they rebook him at that time? Why are they bringing it up now when they are no more in the same political party?
An activist, Wole Folaranmi, however, did not share the same position.
It's a good thing if anybody is found culpable and is being made to face the music. It's a good thing for democracy. It's a lesson for whoever is a public office holder to be careful and to not to have a brush with the law of the land. They should understand the nitty-gritty of their office and their purview so that they don't commit financial mismanagement and what have you.
Again, these activists are of the opinion that the Adamawa impeachment and the impeachment saga playing out in Nasarawa State are signs that those in opposition to government at the center will be cut to sizes.
The presidency is not being statesmanly enough to use political motive to get a perceived enemy out of office. Then it portends dangerous omen for Nigerian body politics.
It is very wrong for Mr. President to clamp down on the opposition. We cannot go to run one-party system in Nigeria. Running one-party system in Nigeria is amount to total collapse of democracy. And those of us that went to prison because of democracy will never allow that to happen.
And with the Osun governorship election a matter of days away, fears are already being raised in some quarters about the role of the PDP-led federal government. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
As the face-off between the federal government and the Nigerian Medical Association lingers at the expense of the masses, the Osun State government, in pursuance of the Millennium Development Goals of reduction of child and maternal mortality, has procured new scanning machines and organized a 3-day training for its health personnel. Rashid was at the training exercise at the Osun State University Teaching Hospital in Oshogbo and brought back this report.
The role of science and technology in medical service cannot be overemphasized. Catching up with global trend and ensuring full compliance with the objectives of the Millennium Development Goals of reduction in child and maternal mortality, the state government organized a 3-day training for health personnel on multitask 3D colored scanning machine. Here is the coordinating consultant, Olukayode Akinlade.
In pregnant women, we will now be able to determine better the features of the baby. Another thing is, the resolution of this machine is quite fantastic, that even a layman will see the features of a baby very, very clearly. And it will aid in the diagnosis of babies even before they are born, so that the specialists can prepare for even the unborn baby.
The trainer, Jeffrey Liu, explains the efficacy of the new medical equipment.
For this one, we can do almost all the ultrasound scan, like the eyes, the brain, the carotid, the abdomen. Lagos, the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, is using this machine for the eye research. And in Lodz, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, they are using this machine to do the newborn baby's fatna checking, check the brain structure.
The scanning machine with the handheld versions are to be distributed across local communities in Osun State, a feat which another consultant, Oluwole Alabi, says will boost medical practice and make Osun shine among committee of states.
This is one of the things we're lacking in this part of the world, and that is why medical practice was strenuous for people practicing here. It's not even made that they don't have brain. They have fantastic brain, but when you don't have the right equipment, the right tools to make diagnosis, and you got to make diagnosis because you can treat. So this will go a long way in aiding the diagnosis of different ailments.
Though the ongoing doctor strike has paralyzed activities across hospitals nationwide, no doubt that this development will boost the health services in Osun State. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
The Federal Executive Council has approved a consultancy contract for the construction of over 4,000 kilometers of standard gauge rail lines across the country. The 1.3 billion naira contract is, according to Information Minister Labaran Mako, part of efforts to modernize the railway system in Nigeria. Mako and his transport counterpart Idris Umar, who briefed State House correspondents on the outcome of the meeting, said the consultants are expected to complete work within 6 months.
Today, again, the minister brought to council, another contract to award consultancy services for the design of 6 additional lots stretching across south-south, southeast to north-central, as well as the northeast and northwest, northwestern parts of the country. A total of 4,430 kilometers of rail lines, modern rail lines, will be involved in what council discussed today and which were approved for consultancy services to develop, the standard gauge rail line to further facilitate the fast movement of goods and services as Nigeria expands and industrializes.
The total length of the 6 corridors is 4,430 kilometers, and is going to cost the federal government 1.3 billion naira. Number 1, Kano Dei to Katsina to Jibia, an approximate distance of 354 kilometers. The contract is awarded to Masons Team Nigeria Limited in the contract sum of 141.2 million naira with a completion period of 6 months. Number 2, the standard gauge rail line from Ilela to Sokoto to Jega to Yauri to Makera with a branch line to Kontagora, covering a distance of 408 kilometers, and that is awarded to Masons Crest Hill Engineering Limited for the sum of 170 million naira with a completion period of 6 months.
Find out how investors are raking returns from equity fund assets in our business stories coming up shortly after this break.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website. www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
A 24-hour news station.
CoreTV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 014-533-407.
A 24-hour news station.
Hello there, you're welcome to the world of business with me, Sabena Izoku. Investors in Nigerian equity-based funds has witnessed over 400 million naira increase in the value of their assets in 1 week. The value increase is driven by investors' increased appetite for the collective investment fund in the midst of heightening market-related risk. Consequently, while majority of the 17 equity-based funds report growth in their unit prices, the accumulative net asset value NAV grew to 45.1 billion naira as of July 4th against 44.65 billion naira in the preceding week. Equity-based fund is a collective investment scheme that is usually invested principally in stocks by their various managers. It is also known as a stock fund. Analysts say more interest is expected in equity-based fund as investors become more aware of this investment vehicle, along with looming risk in the market. Nigeria's Consumer Price Index CPI, which measures inflation, rose to 8.2% in June compared to 8% in the previous month, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has attributed the 0.2% rise in headline index to marginal increase in food prices, which went up to 9.8% in June from 9.7% previously. Core inflation also increased from 0.4% to 8.1% in the period under review. Urban prices increased from 0.2% to 8.4% in June, while its rural component also increased by 0.2% to 8.0% in June. A disagreement over a levy imposed by the Cocoa Cross River State's federal government has halted the cocoa shipment in the last week from the state. Cross River State, Nigeria's second largest cocoa grower, introduced a charge of 5,000 naira per ton of cocoa in exporters who ship beans through ports other than state's Calabar seaport, which diminished its viability. The spokesman for the Cocoa Association of Nigeria, Godwin Uku, says about 500 tons of cocoa due for export are held over the week after the local government refused to comply with a court order that discontinued the duty. Taxes on export, including cocoa, are usually collected by the federal government. Cocoa exports from the Cross River, second largest grower with annual volumes of around 60,000 tons, and the world's fourth biggest cocoa producer, are usually destined for Europe. Uko says logjam can affect output this season as farmers approach the main crop with export delays. Nigeria typically produces around 250,000 tons every year. Official figures for 2013-2014 cocoa output have not yet been released. Value for interbank transfer captured through the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System (NIBSS) jumped from 51 billion naira monthly in January 2012 to over 1.5 trillion naira as of June 2014, helped by the cashless policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. In volume, the NIBSS transfer rose from 87,000 transactions a month in January 2012 to 3.1 million transactions a month as of June 2014. According to recent figures from the Central Bank of Nigeria, volume of point-of-sales (POS) transactions increased astronomically from less than 2,000 monthly as of January 2012 to 1.6 million per month in June 2014, while transactions valued moved up from 38 million naira per month in 2012 to 24 billion naira monthly. Licensed payment terminal service providers licensed to increase POS terminal penetrations increased from 5 to 10, with over 150,000 POS terminals across the country as of last month. The Central Bank of Nigeria says its target is to increase the POS terminals to at least 350,000 by 2015. Meanwhile, the bank has also inaugurated the Fraud Committee, the Nigerian Electronic Fraud Forum (NEF), which comprises banks, security services, and technology companies. The Nigerian currency was unchanged at 161.90 naira to the US dollar at market close, supported by the inflow from offshore investors participating at the government debt auction amid lower dollar demand. The naira closed at the same level as the previous day, remaining a 7-week high it touched against the US currency on Tuesday. Market remains very liquid to support the naira. Nigeria sold 100 billion naira, that's about $617.8 million in bond, at an auction on Wednesday. Auction result is expected on Thursday. Dealers expect the naira to trade within a range 161 naira 150 kobo to 162 naira 30 kobo as small oil companies start to sell dollars towards the end of the month to fund their local obligations. And on the stock market report, the equity transaction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The Nigerian Stock Exchange all shares appreciated by 58.71 points to close high at 43,030.27 basis points. Market capitalization rose by 0.14% to close higher at 14.208 trillion naira. In all, a total of 317 million shares valued at 3.06 billion naira were exchanged in 5,098 deals. Report shows that Nestle plc topped the gainers chart, followed by Total plc, Mobil plc, Nigerian Builders plc, Vapco plc. And on the other hand, Julius Berger plc led the losers chart, followed by Owando plc, Dangote Cement plc, and NFM plc, and Chemical and Allied Products plc. And here's the top 5 trade. And that's it on business news. Coming up next is sport news with Brownsie Uwana. Stay with us.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball, storming, Puyol with a flying lead.
No, taking them out in the lead.
A very big thanks for joining us on Sport News tonight. I am Brownsie Uwana. The federal government of Nigeria has, in response to FIFA's suspension to the Nigerian Football Federation, refused to release funds to the NFF for the month of July. The allocation amounts to almost 235 million naira. The amount would have covered Nigeria's preparations in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup and other engagements being undertaken by the Nigerian Football Federation. A top official at the Sport Ministry said the National Sport Commission, NSC, deemed the action necessary as the Nigerian government wants to avoid accusation of interference in the administration of football in the country by the World Football Governing Body. Representative of the 20 Nigerian Professional Football League (NPLF) has rejected the July 20 commencement date for the second round of the 2013-2014 league season. The league management company LMC had earlier fixed July 20 as the commencement date for the second round phase of the 2013-2014 NPLF season. Aloy Chukwuemeka, acting secretary of the club owners representative, told CoreTV Sports that the decision was to enable the Premier League club conclude their ongoing preparation for the Federation Cup matches. Chukwuemeka, however, said the club owners want the LMC to fix a date for the kick-off round for the second half of the league. And away from that to the English Premier League, where Chelsea have reached an agreement with Spanish champions Atletico Madrid to sign Brazilian left-back Felipe Luis. The 28-year-old now discussed personal terms and have a medical at the Premier League club. Last season, Luis made 44 appearances as Atletico Madrid won the La Liga for the first time since 1996 and reached the Champions League final. Luis looked likely to be a direct replacement for ex-England left-back Ashley Cole, who has now joined Roma. Away from that to some athletic story now, double Olympic champions Mo Farah will compete at the Glasgow Commonwealth Game this month ending. The 31-year-old, who won 500-meter and 10,000-meter at London 2012, pulled out of last week's Diamond League meeting in Glasgow because of illness. However, Farah came through a rough training session on Wednesday and tweeted, "Training is going on well. Next stop is Commonwealth Games." He is also due to take part in this weekend's anniversary game in London. Finally, on sport news tonight, now to Formula One. Mercedes have confirmed Nico Rosberg has signed a multi-year contract extension with the Silver Arrows. The German currently tops the standings from teammate Lewis Hamilton, heading into the home ground Grand Prix this weekend. The former Williams driver joined Mercedes in 2010 and has taken 6 victories, 17 podium and 8 pole position with the Silver Arrows. He has won 3 times in 2014 and lead the championship by 4 points ahead of this weekend Grand Prix. And that's a wrap on Sport News tonight. My name is Brownson Wana Nifemi Oguntoye. We'll be back with the rest of the story. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. Outside Nigeria now, European Union leaders get down to serious haggling over the bloc's top jobs, with all eyes on who will head the high-profile foreign affairs arm in the face of deepening crisis in Ukraine and the Middle East. One post is already settled after the European Parliament confirmed veteran EU insider Jean-Claude Juncker as head of the European Commission, setting the stage for the next round of no-holds-barred horse trading. Looming over the meeting is the deepening crisis in Ukraine, which makes the choice of a successor to Britain's Catherine Ashton as head of the European External Action Service even more sensitive as Washington presses its EU allies to toughen sanctions against Moscow. The European Union is divided as some members, including Italy and Germany, have major economic ties with Russia, which the fear could be harmed if relations break down completely. Diplomats say that while the EU is mulling additional Phase 2 sanctions, asset freezes and visa bans, it will stop short of Phase 3 measures that target entire economic sectors. That's been the show tonight. On behalf of everyone here, I am Nifemi Oguntoye, wishing you a pleasant night rest. Thanks for being there.